first timer. Look at us go. Give another warm welcome to Queeny Bitch.
Hey bitches. How we doing tonight? Ready for this? Okay. I'm so happy to be here on Campfire Stories telling a real story in front of a live feed of an actual campfire. Now, let's see. I'm going to tell you about the most crazy night I ever had out. I don't know if it's the funniest, but like it's definitely the craziest. Okay? Literally surprise I'm alive. So like, this happened when I was 22, which I know you're looking at me like, that was yesterday. Like, no, I'm 30 as of yesterday. No, but like, so at this point, I was living in an apartment with two roommates, right? And one of the roommates had a really close friend that was living on our couch at the moment. His name was Ted. Now, you need to remember Ted, okay? Now, a good thing to remember about Ted was he was a piece of shit. At the time, I didn't realize this, so I was hanging out with him all the time. And like, Ted had a girlfriend at the time who is now one of my closest friends named Alex. So we were going out all the time on these like adventure style nights out. You know, like really like trying to get it out of our systems. We were just like checking every box we fucking could. You know, like talking to anyone we could, having the weirdest experiences over and over again. Everything was a Hallmark moment. And like, so this one night that we were going out with Ted, we get into his car, right? He's gonna be driving. And the first thing that I notice when he turns on the car is it immediately starts vibrating very violently, which is not a good sign when that's carrying you throughout the evening. And then the second thing that I noticed was that half of the dashboard lights worked, which means that things like rate of travel, complete mystery. And then once we started moving, all of a sudden we started getting this horrible knocking noise, and it felt like the car was lurching with every rotation. Now, I want you to know at this point, I don't now, but I did own a car at this moment. But I was young and lazy, and I was just like, I don't feel like driving. Like, that was where my decision making was at this moment. You know? So we're going out, we're going to a bar with his girlfriend Alex, and we're going and seeing this girl who is a very close friend of Alex named Allie. Something you need to know about Allie. She is the most like basic white girl you've ever met, but like thinks that she's so cool. Like she's the one that like goes and gets pumpkin spice, like I invented this, you know. Says everything with a smile because she's just like, everyone loves me right now. You know, like something you need to understand about her. She had a friend that was about to have an abortion, so she thought a really great idea, being pro-life, being pro-choice and all, was having an abortion party.
Oh my God.
Now, for a second, like we were 22 and we did not have morals, right? So we were like, maybe we should do it, but also probably not. And like, but if we were gonna do it, anyone who should show up would come in like sheets with like ketchup on it, like and all that shit. Luckily, everyone did what we did and came to their fucking senses before they showed up to this thing. So it was canceled before it ever happened. But you need to know, this is the girl we were going to meet. So we get there. She's been a close friend of Alex throughout a long time, knows all of their family, which is really important that you need to understand Alex and Ted's relationship. So when I met them, they had been together for like 3 years, right? Admirable. Except for the fact that it had been a rocky fucking 3 years. And he was not supposed to be in Chicago with her. To the point where her parents, if they found out about it, would have taken her out of DePaul and brought her back home to Michigan. So this was a tinderbox of a situation. So like, and the thing is like, she knew all of Alex's brothers, so like they could just accidentally mention it casually in conversation. All of a sudden, boom, it's done. So instead of having the adult decision-making skills in this moment to say, maybe Ted stays home today, we decide, no, we're going to come up with a thinly veiled alias and have a backstory that we're going to do absolutely nothing to say. And also understand that Allie had met Ted before, like 2 years ago, and we were just hoping that she wouldn't remember. So like, at this point, you would think that you would have the idea that I'm going to name myself something easy, like Tim Alcott. something you could imagine a parent would have named their child. You know, but no, this motherfucker decided to name himself Bartholomew Bambus Kirk. He chose an alliteration for his alias name. And not only did he choose an alliteration, he kept pushing it the entire night. He's just like, no, seriously, my name is Bartholomew Bambus Kirk III, but my friends call me Bart. Like she wasn't gonna ask for a fucking ID. So eventually he keeps saying it over and over and over again to the point where she asked for his ID. We were at a bar. Obviously he had it on him. So he then had to say, no. And then Allie's next phrase was, you know who he looks like? Ted. He looks like Ted. Remember that guy you were dating a while ago that you broke up with? Looks just like him. To which Alex said, we gotta go. Right, that's not what's happening. We gotta go. We leave there, we leave Barrel House Flats, rest in peace, and go over to Delilah's, still open. And like Ted goes like, do you think she bought it? No, Ted, I don't think she bought it. You know why? Because you treated this night out like a fucking character study. Like, that's like, what is wrong with you? All was forgiven at the end because, like, it was funny. We were having a good time, and apparently, like, nothing came of it. She still lives in Chicago. They're broken up. Thank God for her. And so, like, at this point, at the end of the day, we're at the end of the bar. This is about to close down, so we're leaving, right? Now, at this point, when we were going out, Ted was like, hey, I might drink too much, and you might have to drive this car. And I was just like, bitch, do not threaten me, because I will leave you. It's like, I will suck a trucker's dick and leave you in the farmland. You understand me? I will do it. But then it turned out that I was sober, so I drove his fucking car. We're in the car, I'm fine, because I only really had like 3 beers in the span of like 4 hours. So like I was okay, we're good. Alex is at this point like pretty buzzed, and then Ted is a problem. Alex and I are in the front, and Ted is in the back seat, just like sprawled out, not buckled in, just having the time of his fucking life. Now, we're in this situation realizing that this is probably not great. The car is rumbling and everything, so we make the decision, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go on the highway so we can get home faster. The car is rattling, and everything. We're going really slow because we're like, we don't know where the hazard light button is because the dashboard doesn't work. So then we're freaking out, like, how do we do this? Like, Ted, can you please turn on the light? He's like, okay, hits it, turns on the radio, like, there you go. Like, no, you still didn't do it. And then, like, we hit the smallest bump. And then, like, all of a sudden, we hear a bang noise, and the car levels out. Which you think is a good thing. I did not take this as a good thing. All of a sudden, as we're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, smoke starts coming out of the vents. And we're just like, okay, that's not steam, right? That's like a problem. All of a sudden, we hear another bang, sparks, tire on the other side of the highway, bouncing down, going faster than us. I'm sitting there in the driver's seat like, this is why I shouldn't have fucking drove. At this point, like, luckily, my father taught me how to be in the situation. It was just like, you know, the back of your car, wherever it's turning, turn your wheel in that direction. I coasted to a stop, it was fine. Ted in the back seat screaming. Screaming. That's my tire! That's my tire right over there! We're like, oh my God, Ted, we know. Calm the fuck down. We're in the breakdown lane. He's still freaking out. That's my tire. What do we do? What do we do? It was like, I don't know, but we're hungry. And like, Sarpino's is still open. They went to the computer though, right? Like, we were just like eerily calm. He's freaking out for a little bit longer. I'm not even using it. You can hear me. He's freaking out a little bit longer. All of a sudden, thank God, a tow truck shows up right behind us. Just out of nowhere, just shows up right behind us, gives us a free ride, gets us to our house. He's sitting there in the driver's seat the entire time, like, how did you know we were there? How did you know? It's like, no, he was driving up and down. Everyone saw us. He was in a tow truck, so he stopped, Ted. We get to the place, and we're like, thank you so much. Shake his hand. Ted walks out of the car, falls flat on his face onto the pavement. We're just like, honestly, I wish you broke your nose for making me drive that fucking car. Moral of the story, Sarpino's is closed. I cooked ramen, went to bed.